Today is Tuesday, March 26th, and we are doing the second to last lesson in Module 4, Lesson 32. Thank you, Brian. And today we're going to use what we know about words, numbers, and pictures to help us represent numerical expressions. Numerical expressions is just another way to say math sentences. So we have to be able to see a math sentence and say it in words, or write it in words. Or see a math sentence and draw a picture that matches it. Or see a picture, or see words, and write the numbers that match it. Does that make sense? Okay. So you know on your report card how there's lots of different parts of, under math, there's like operations and algebraic thinking. There's numbers in base 10 or something like that. There's fractions, right? There's lots of different geometry, measures and data. This one today is operations and algebraic thinking. Okay, so the work that you're doing today, it would go under that part on your report card. Does that make sense? Good. We're going to use words, numbers, and pictures to help us represent or interpret and make sense of numerical expressions, which are just math sentences. Okay? So here we see three examples. Ooh, let's talk about one at a time. Okay. Do you guys see words, numbers, or pictures? What do you guys see? Words, numbers, or pictures? Words. Yeah, there's numbers, but we call this words, okay? Which means we have to write it as just numbers, and then we're going to draw a picture that matches it. Okay, let's see what important words jump out at us. It says twice the sum of 3/5 and 1 1/2. What mathematical words say, hey, this is important, this is a big clue? What words jump out at you? Arana, what's one word that jumps out at you? Huh? Sum. The word sum tells us we need to do what? Add. Okay, it's saying the sum of what two numbers, everyone? 3/5 and 1 1/2. So that means we're going to have to add up 3/5 and 1 1/2. What other math words jump out at you saying, hey, I am important, pay attention to me? Brian? Twice. When I do twice, what am I doing if I find twice of something? Huh? I'm making two copies. So I'm making two copies of the sum of 3/5 and 1 1/2. So those are the numbers that match those words. Here is the sum of 3/5 plus 1 1/2. If that's the sum of 3/5 plus 1 1/2, what do I have to do to it? Double it. Make another copy of it. And I have to show again that this is 3/5 plus 1 1/2. So this is one way to draw a diagram that shows twice the sum of 3/5 and 1 1/2. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Good. We've done work like this before. Go ahead and write down this numerical expression. 2/5 times, in parentheses, 1/2 minus 0.4. Okay, let's see. Do we see parentheses? That means we have to do that part first, huh? So what part is in parentheses? 1/2 minus 0.4. When I see the minus sign, subtraction sign, what word do I use to represent that? Everyone? Okay. So this must be the difference between, this is the difference between what and what? 1/2 and 4/10. You can also just write 1/2 and 0.4. Good. But that's not it. But before that, it says 2/5 times. So how do we deal with the 2/5 times? What should we write there? Christopher? Good. So this is 2/5 of the difference between 1/2 and 0.4. Does that make sense? Good. We could have said the sum of 3/4 and 1.25 divided by 1/3. It's probably easier, right? Yes? Okay. Circle the expression. Okay, so there's 4 expressions here. That is equivalent. What's another word for equivalent? Equal to these following words. The difference between 7 and 4 divided by 1/5. The difference between 7 and 4 divided by 1/5. Okay, well, if I see the word difference, that tells me I'm doing what? Difference means I'm subtracting. What am I finding the difference between? 7 and 4. And what am I doing to that difference? I'm dividing it by So which one of those expressions matches the difference between 7 and 4 divided by 1/5? The one I'm pointing to. Very good. Okay. Now, so that's another way to say it. Okay, so you can say the difference between, so for our previous one, okay, this one I'm going to circle the expression that's equivalent to 42 divided by the sum of 2/3 and 3/4.